Hello and welcome to Titanium Talos Tarot. And today I will be doing a collective energy pull for the coming week. Okay, so this is going to be for Sun, Moon, Rising. Well, anyone really who wants to listen to this, welcome. All right, there's none of the other hullabaloo. This is for anyone who wants to watch this. I'm just going to predict a little bit what's gonna happen next week. What type of energy is the collective gonna be working with? Now, this might vary for everyone. It'll vary in how big or how big a part this is gonna play in your life for the coming week. And this might be for one day or it might be for a week. I don't know. It depends on how quickly you get over this energy cycle, if you can say. Because I see every week as an energy cycle. Or you can go farther, take it out to the month, or even farther than that, which is the season or whatever, the year. You catch my drift, right? So this is just for the energy of the week, of the coming week. And the way I work is that I first pull a card from the spirit animal deck. I'm not fully sure exactly. Yeah, the spirit animal oracle deck. The spirit animal oracle deck. Then I don't know which order I'll do this, but I'll probably pull a wild spirit. Okay. The wild unknown spirit, animal spirit guide from that. Okay. I'll probably pull something from the wild unknown spirit deck. And finally, I will pull a card from the medicine cards. All right. So these are more aligned with Amerindian medicine related to animals, things of that sort. Okay, and if I need any clarification, I will use the Sylvia Netzer's Mirror Truth Lenormand deck. Okay, yes. So, with that being said, let us get started. Okay, so first, the Animal Spirit Oracle deck. Okay. Let me ground and connect. Or come down, whichever. I find that when I'm calm, it's easy. It's much easier to connect, and it's also much easier to not have my feelings from prior in the day come in and wreak havoc on my reading capabilities. All right, so just explaining it to y'all so that you can get it yourself, and go in this route if you feel like it. Okay, all right. So, please, angels and guides, anyone from the highest good who has a message for my collective for the coming week, in what type of energy they will be dealing with, please come forward and share one card for what is the energy that they will be experiencing next week. Please, angels and guides, anyone from the highest good who has a message for my collective, give me one card, please. And the card that is calling me is Parrot Spirit. Caw-caw! Okay. Let me just arrange my desk. Selenite Tower to cleanse. Yeah. Plop. Alright. Please, angels and guides, anyone from the highest good who has a message for my collective, please come forward and share. Oh, the next card out is the Grus. I'm not sure if I'm reading it right. Grus. I hope I'm reading that correctly, pronouncing it correctly, whatever. All right. And now for the Wild Unknown Animal Spirit deck. I said deck. Okay. Please, angels and guides, anyone from the highest good who has a message for my collective for the week ahead. Please come forward and share. Please come forward and share what you guys would like them to know for the coming week. This is a lot. Please, angels and guides, anyone from the highest good who has a message for my collective, please come forward and share. What else do they need to know about the energy of next week? Elephant spirit. Wild and untamed with a fire. See, look at that fire. Put the lime in put the lime in the coconut. I'm not sure. I hear a lot of different things, but that's just the way I perceive it. Put a lime in the coconut and drink it all up. Put the lime in the coconut and drink it all up. Well, I mean, it could be taken both ways. Put a lime in the coconut and drink it all up, you nut. I'm paraphrasing. Anyway. Okay. Parrot spirit. Watch your words. Watch your words because they will create your reality. And that is part of what I have noticed with my time as a interest, as with all my interests in communication, and also all the time I spent after my accident, the way my self-communication, my that's the way that it's said in French. Intrapersonnel, intrapersonal. The way you talk with yourself is super important, but the way you talk with others is also important. And the way you talk with the divine is super important. So that's just the way I see it. Right? Because you need to be able to communicate with yourself. If you can communicate with yourself clearly and effectively, well, then you can communicate with others. Sorry, someone's started a blower. So if you hear like the engine running of something, just know it's my neighbors doing some yard work. Okay. Yes. So as I was saying, communication, you need to be... See, communication has multiple layers. There's the nonverbal, which is the base. You have the paraverbal, which is the way you say things, and the way, like the rapidity, the melody, the inflections and all those things. Well, that's a part of the melody. And then there is the verbal, like the words you use. That is only a very small percentage of what you communicate. So that there's that one. And then there's also the layers. So there's the level. So then there's the message, which is horizontal. Like what goes into a message? What do you need to do to effectively transpose, like transmitted your message. But then there's the layers, right? So there's when you're communicating with people and with groups, right? There's I'm gonna figure something out at some point. There is a horizontal way of communicating. Then there's a vertical way of communicating, which to me is you, the way you communicate with yourself, the way you communicate with others, which is the second layer, and then the way you communicate with the divine or the etheric. That is the third. And it's very interesting. I have been at this, I've been at communication since 2000 and autumn 2017 when I started college. Yeah. And it really took off like a year or two after my accident. So I've been in this, yeah, and like a year or two after my accident, I really worked on my communication skills, my intrapersonal communication skills, as well as my interpersonal communication skills, because I was very, very, very lacking in that aspect. Even before my accident, because let's just say that a brain trauma, okay, like a bruise on your brain is what a brain trauma is. Okay, a bruise on your brain completely demands of you that that your brain be rewired, okay? And that whole rewiring and the fact that you have bruises on specific parts of your brain completely change your personality, okay? And because of that complete transformation of your personality and people not wanting to work on it anymore, that creates the impression that someone has changed, okay? And so when I woke up from my accident, I had changed because I no longer had the exact same brain, right? As in, I no longer had the same personality, because the certain parts of my brain were affected differently from the bruise that I had received, which is mostly in the front, probably on the back as well, and some on the sides, mostly. I think, well, that's all sides. What the hell, right? I haven't read my whole report yet, so we'll see. But yeah, so I definitely know that the front and the back, that's for sure. So that changed my perception, and it also impacted my impulsiveness. So the main thing that my parents, my friends noticed is that whatever I thought of, I would say. I wouldn't have a sieve, to decide what's better to say and what's not. What can I say and what is not, and I have worked on myself a lot, like a ton. Sometimes I am still impulsive, but not as much. It's when I'm tired, it's when there's a lot of noise, when there's too much stuff, I feel stressed, and when I feel stressed, I feel like I need to rebel in some sort of way, and I feel like I'm in danger. It's not real danger per se, it's fake danger, but is perceived danger all the same, right? So what was I saying? I was saying about the way that the bruise on my brain affected me, my personality, and the way I interact with others, right? So this took about it's going to be 12 years in November, okay? It's going to be 12 years that I've had my accident, okay? And 12 years since my accident, and I've changed a lot. I have done a lot of work on myself. I have become much, much better at a lot of things, and I'm still getting better, which is, for someone who has had a brain tumor, brain trauma is like incredibly like amazing because I haven't stopped. I've always been looking to what I can better. Of course, I have like parts of myself that I rather not work on. That's human, that's normal. No, but relatively, I have things that I try to work on and to better. And those things that I can't, I choose not to work on, I decide to look at it in a different light. For example, okay, this happened yesterday, which is ever since I was little, I've tended to have like, I've tended to be very impulsive in the sense, impulsive. Well, since my accident, I've tended to just have an idea in my mind and stick to that idea, even if, even if I haven't really thought of that idea. Now, yesterday, I noticed that, yes, I had a preconceived idea that I was working towards myself, but then I was like, okay, I have to like consciously sit and think of, do I really need to do this? And then to avoid these kinds of things. But then I thought to myself, okay, wait a minute. If I am trying to more listen to my intuition, and my intuition told me, go to this thing, okay, because that was the initial spark, which was go to this thing. I was like, okay. And so if the going to this thing is what my intuition wanted me to do, but I went to it and I didn't really get to do what I had planned to do, that I was expecting to happen, did not really happen. So what would that mean? That would mean that I need to shift the way I view it, because then possibly there's something other that the divine wanted me to notice and to see. And so I thought about it in a different way. What is it that I took from me going there? What is it that I took from it that I wouldn't have gone if I had not gone? Which I was not expecting, because what I was expecting did not happen. So what did the divine want me to discover, or want me to learn in this event that I did not preconceively think about? And so then I was like, so this is possibly just a way for the divine to like, or my angels and guides, really, to get me to see that, okay, maybe you didn't get what you wanted, but there's us, there's what we want you to go through. And what they wanted me to go through is I think, is to stop like expecting things and just like, how should I say it? To stop pre-planning things. Just go with the flow. That is what it is. To go with the flow of what is happening, which is what I learned, because all you can do really with the divine is listen to the insights that you are getting, follow them, and then just deal with whatever is, well, deal is not the right word, is to take a nugget from it, because something told me to go to this thing. I didn't have to, but something told me to go. Okay, even if it was a preconceived notion, but something told me to go. So I went, and I didn't get exactly what I wanted, but I got something else, which was this little nugget. Like, just because you think one thing is going to happen doesn't mean that the divine had something else in plan for you. So just be open. So even if what you wanted did not happen, just be open to realize that something other might come from it. Do you see what I mean? I mean, I'm talking about myself really, but I'm guessing if I do this, I'm not the only one. And so I'm just saying, okay, let's say you wanted to go to the mall to buy a shirt, and you went to the mall and that shirt was no longer there. but you went to the mall and you saw your friends you saw a friend of yours you hadn't seen in a really long time, or you saw like a family member that you had no idea had come back, was in town, and you're like, oh my god, I like I have the best time with you. So you reconnect with a family member that you haven't reconnected with like since ever, and you like a new door opens, right? More things happen than it would have if you would have stayed at home. Oh my god, I've been talking 20 minutes on this one card. Okay, well, thank you, Parrot Spirit. Watch your words. How did we go from watch your words to just be open to what the universe is telling you? Okay, because you create your reality from your words and your thoughts. But so you create your reality from your words and your thought. So you create your reality from your words and your thought. The divine sends you what you want, though sometimes it's in a disguise. So you have to like have put on different lenses to be able to see the different things that are coming towards you and see the different layers of what are coming towards you. Okay? Wow. That was amazing. All right. Next card, the medicine cards. Okay. The Grus 34. Yeah. Okay. 34. Sacred Spirit. No, Sacred Spiral. I knew I've seen this card before. Was this a card that we pulled last week? That's what I had as a thought a little while ago. Anyway, so growth of the sacred spiral, leading us on to reach the everlasting heights. Okay, where we can live as one. Growth once flocked in abundance through North America, but now even on the plains where these birds were so plentiful, there is an absence of them. Many plains Indian tribe many plains Indian tribes dance the spiral of spirits, which is the ancient spiral of birth and rebirth. The ribbed tunnel of eternal return. This makes me think of what I just talked about. You know, the different layers of stuff, because a spiral is, you go like this, right? This is the spiral. So you can go upwards or it can remain on the spot. But a spiral usually is like, a tornado is a spiral. Spiral. So it goes, it has a horizontal and vertical thing to it. A tornado has a horizontal and vertical thing to it. Its diameter, it's how large it is the horizontal, and the vertical is its height, right? Now, so this makes me think of spiral dynamics, which is spiral dynamics, from what Aaron Doughty explained, is that every single the way I put it out there is that every single spiral has a different color, okay? The way I perceive it. Every single every single spiral has a different color, and the higher you go, the wiser you get. Okay, I don't know if I'm mixing the graphs, but this is how I see it. Okay, or the names, whichever, it doesn't matter. The way I see it is that life is like a spiral. Okay, so you go around the different spirals. Okay, and every spiral comes with its lesson. All right, now every spiral comes with this lesson, and the whole thing is, okay, you have it vertically and horizontally, right? So vertically, you go up, and the way I see it is that your layers, your maturity goes up. Your maturity goes up, so you can see things from a different vernacular, like with different lenses. Okay, but it's the same thing happening over and over again. It's just that you're looking at it through different lenses. And the vertical is the how big it gets, like how big the lesson that you are going through is getting, right? How important its stature. Okay. Now, so during your lifetime, you will have many of the same things happening over and over again. But depending on your maturity, okay, you will see it from a different vernacular with different lenses. Okay, let's go with that. With different lenses, and with those different lenses, you will see new aspects of this cycle that you have not seen. Right? So in a sense, it's, yeah. So in a sense, you're, the same lesson is repeating itself, but you're seeing it from a different lens. You're seeing it from a different light, and because of that, I mean, different things will come to you, right? Now, I'm thinking of a specific event in my life, because things happen and you learn from them, right? Well, in general, that is what should happen. Things happen and you learn from them, all right? So for me, I read a book, okay? It was about this lady, this neuroscientist, I think, who had a stroke, and who was, in her book, she was talking about it, because she was like, oh my god, that's my terminology, but wow, I am experiencing what I have studied, what I professionally do, right? And so she was able to, like, clearly and distinctly identify what was happening to her, which is interesting, because yes, I didn't have a stroke, but the same principle applies between me and her. We both had bruises to our brains. Now, hers was in her brain, while as mine was on my brain, right? Because I hit my head really hard, so it created a bruise. Now, doing this is not enough for you to have a bruise. You need to, like, I was thrown 30 feet through the air, fell on my head, okay? And that is what you need to do at, like, a velocity of like 70 miles an hour. I know that this is not scientifically accurate, because something else happens. There's, like, speed, weight, and something else that goes into the impact, the weight of an impact. I'm not quite certain what it is, but basically, Mine was, I can't really explain it. So mine was more like superficial. It hurt. It mainly hurt my gray matter. Okay, hers probably hurt her white matter more. And if you've ever studied the brain, okay, which I know not some of you have, some of you haven't. Like the white matter and the brown and the gray matter do different things, right? Now, so it affects, probably with her, it affected her abilities more than anything else. For me, because it was my gray matter, I think the gray matter is more in touch with your personality, and my personality had changed. Okay, so that's why I talk of when you get a traumatic brain injury, your personality might change. Now I can't speak for strokes, but I can definitely speak for head traumas, right? So, and of course there was a little bit of depth to my bruise, probably because some of my capacities had been affected as well. Yeah. So, all this to say that, and to connect the fact of learning different lessons and seeing them from a different vernacular, as I was talking about. She had studied this. She had studied like strokes for a very long time. She knew about it. She was doctoring it and blah blah blah. So now she technically knew what it was, but she did not actually know practically what it was. So it was a completely different vernacular. So that way, her knowing of what was going on was deepened. Okay? Different lens of looking at it. Okay? So that is what I want to say with that. Now, for the wild unknown spirit guide, whatever. Okay, so you have the elephant, which you can see there's a lot of red in this card, as well as black and gray and white. So this is a fiery energy. So let me find. Yeah. See, I have. I might not know my cards perfectly well because I have many, but this allows me to give you different messages from different angles. At least I find. It's my little blend. And this is why I'm probably certain not a lot of other readers do it just like me. Okay? Now, elephant, unstoppable, auspicious, wise. Right? The elephant is arguably the most auspicious figure in the deck, like Ganesh. I think that's the Indian god. The elephant represents immense wisdom as well as good fortune. It is said that the great elephant is the destroyer of obstacles. So if this card appears when you feel stuck, rest assured the path will soon become clear. To add to the mystery, the elephant is also known to create obstacles in order to steer us in the right direction. Trust the gentle, noble creature. It illuminates the way with the light of self-knowledge. Okay. When in balance, one pointed focus, generous, loving. When out of balance, misunderstands fate. To bring into balance, trust. Okay. So, for example, I'm going to use my example once more because that's the only example I can use. Think of my accident. Okay, for anybody, I'm certain that for most people, their first reaction was, "Oh, poor Talar. Oh, poor her. She has so much she can't do now," and blah blah blah, whatever they thought. But in reality, okay, that breaking of my body, that clearing the path, that breaking of my body, that accident, that big trauma, okay, that big thing that happened to me, okay, was actually very beneficial. And that you can only do when you are completely at peace with what has happened. And then you start seeing the good that came from it. So this is just saying that whatever is going to happen to you this week is only for your benefit. Okay, it is up to you to perceive the benefit that it will bring and to utilize it to the best of your abilities. Okay, because if I had not seen that, being hit by a car was actually good for me, I would have turned, if my inner chatter, which goes back to communication and the different layers of it, right? The different levels of it. So there's intrapersonal communication, interpersonal communication, and ultrapersonal communication is the way I see it. So intrapersonal communication is the communication you have with yourself. If the communication you have with yourself is not up to par, okay, whatever happens to you will seem like you will look at it with the first lens, which is, oh, this is bad, my life is ruined, blah blah blah. But then if you look deeper, if you look at it from the second lens, which is, oh, well, wait a minute, if because of that I'm now able to do this, oh, this is great. And then you can add a third layer, which I don't know if I've reached the third layer yet, but you can add a third way of looking at it, and I can't really talk of the third because I don't think I'm there yet. But when you go like, okay, I'm putting on lenses, okay? When you see through that lens, you're like, holy shit, I was not able to do this before, but now I am. Oh my God. Excuse me. Ma, I'm still doing my reading. I'm still doing my thing. I'm still doing my thing. I'm still recording. Sorry. Excuse me. Okay. So I'm almost done, okay? So yeah, the way you see through binoculars, and so it'll just give you something to just give you an extra way of looking at things, which will teach you new things, which will let you go deeper into a certain subject. It'll help you see things differently. It'll help you go through life in a better way, okay? And all this through 3 cards. Wow. Well, this was the actual way it was set. Okay, so this is amazing, my collective. First of all, I am so happy I could read this deep into cards, because if we use that same idea, okay, if I just read the meaning that the card gave you, that's one. But then I added my life experience to it, and then I added the things that I would knew. That's the second layer. But then this might be something if I also added in the way the image looks, the things that spirit spirit told me what spirit told me was the life experiences that I should mention. That was like the second, and then the third is, I guess, the image. That is what my angels and guides told me to say. If I can pull like little cues from like the images, that will be something else. That'll be a third layer of my reading abilities. Holy Scheiße. Holy Scheiße. This is amazing. Okay. Yes, I am so happy. And I hope you guys are too, because this was an amazing lesson. This was an amazing sharing instance. Okay, so with that being said, if you guys like this and if you would like me to go deeper into your specific situation, please contact me at the email in the box below, and it'll be my pleasure to help. Okay, in that same box you will find a little description of the video and my price. Alright, now, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, comment, because I love comments. I do. I just love comments. I adore them. Okay, I read them all. I might not answer, but I read them all. Okay, and so comment, like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Click on the notification bell to be notified when I post new stuff. Okay, and with that being said, I wish you all a very good week, and I will see you next time. Bye.